We've had some unprecedented times where we've not really used to this, and obviously in UK we're having a second lockdown now. We've noticed a lot of the laser side. It's been busier than ever, but it's nice to maybe ask some questions. I know some of you guys have got some questions, what to do in lockdown, how to even speak to clients in lockdown, and so on. So just an intro to Alma themselves, as we have also got some clients or prospective clients on this webinar who may not be familiar with us or Alma. Alma are in over 80 countries and are a worldwide leading provider of energy-based solutions. So that will cover your surgical, medical aesthetics, as well as beauty markets. Now, we've got huge departments in Alma International dedicated to research and development, clinical studies, marketing and PR, all dedicated teams working around the clock to make sure we have the leading equipment worldwide, literally the latest and greatest, really, and we're always in development for the next best thing, so do watch out. We've all got huge clinical studies across many, many journals. This is more for people who are looking into us right now, good for you know, such as Cosmetic Dermatology, Journal of Cosmetics and Laser, Aesthetic Plastic Surgery, British Journal of Dermatology, Laser and Surgery and Medicine, and much, much more. All of them, if not most of them, are available online. If you ever need any, feel free to contact us. We also got exclusive patents in a lot of our equipment, which is only available to Alma, so which means basically there are no competitors as far as we're concerned. So do ask us about that in further detail. We do also have a huge market presence on social media, search engines, and our own marketing PR teams are huge across Alma International with local UK teams. We are about to be featured on 10 Years Younger on Channel 4 and Channel 5. We've also been on Body Fixers, This Morning TV, Netflix has a program at the moment, so do again ask for some marketing PR to help out, or if it's a new inquiry, we can point you in the right direction. And we also provide a lot of marketing and business support as part of our package. So that's an intro to us as well as Alma. So I'm now going to hand you over to Sharon to start with now. We've got a few more people who've joined, so maybe it's the right time to start, really.
Okay, so should I make a start? Let's see if people are still coming in. No, that's fine.
Yeah, I think we'll make a start.
Wait a little bit longer.
You're welcome. Sorry, what was that?
Should I start them?
Yeah, I think so. We can always do a Q&A at the end, and if anyone wants to catch up, we'll catch up with them after.
Okay, yeah, so can I suggest that everyone kind of turns their mics off, and any questions that come to mind throughout the presentation, just pop them in the chat box and I can read them out at the end and we can do a nice questions and answer session. That normally works very well, so everyone gets to hear, and we'll do that at the end. So I'd like to introduce myself. My name is Sharon Jacobi. I'm actually a PhD in biochemistry and molecular biology, so not so much dermatology, but years of experience now in the field. And as Adam kindly introduced me, I am clinical applications specialist, so I provide clinical support for Europe, Middle East and Africa, and also head of all global training, so training material, online courses, everything that will help you to feel that you're not alone once you've purchased a machine, or if you have any problems on the way. So I really do think, you know, lockdown's not great. None of this is great, but I do think that we can make the most of this situation. And like Adam said, you know, we have some time now to maybe take a step back, refresh our minds. And for those of you who are new to Alma and new to Soprano, then this is a great introduction. I'm not going to get too heavy. I'm not going to get too much into the biochemistry in this presentation, because like I said, I've got a range, I think, in the audience in terms of experience, knowledge. Some of you would have used Soprano for many years and may have more advanced questions, and some of you technology. Can you still hear me? Yeah. Okay, so what am I going to present in this presentation? First of all, an introduction to the different sopranos out there. What is soprano? How Alma came up with the, with the great invention of really making the ultimate device in hair laser removal. A little bit about the biology of laser hair removal, because I do think it's important. I think in order to be a good clinician and to practice to get the most out of your device, it really helps to understand how it works. It helps to manage client expectations, and it helps you to understand how to play with your machine, how to get the most of parameters, not to cause any, God forbid, adverse events. So it really is important that, that we all understand the basic biology principles. I'm going to talk about SHR, because SHR has now really become synonymous with hair removal. And what's fantastic is that, customers now are going into clinics and saying, can I have SHR hair removal? Just like kind of Kleenex and tissue, not really aware that that originates from Alma. So we're very proud of that, that SHR has really become almost a household name in this area. And then I'll go into more specifications, more technical aspects, applicators, protocols, how to work, techniques, some clinical tips, then some before and afters, although not too exciting. Next week will be more exciting when we look at skin rejuvenation. And then finally, I'd like to talk to you a little bit about some new advancements in Alma, new advancements in our clinical department, and something, that really can benefit you guys as as our clients. Okay. So as we're all well aware, 20 years ago, everyone wanted a safe, non-invasive, pain-free procedure for permanent hair removal. And it was always the aim for it to be rapid, easy, affordable. And as we know, in the last 20 years, it's really become the fastest growing procedure in cosmetic dermatology. And it's now recognized, I think, as the gold standard for hair removal. So this is just a little bit about, as I said, I'm from the clinical department, not the marketing or sales, but I always like to put a little bit of data in that kind of is important to the talk. And hair removal is the second leading device-based procedure in the world. There is a huge global market for hair removal, and this is just it's just rising. It's just rising, and I think that every companies as well as Alma have really perfected it to the point where it's a no-brainer. Okay, so how did Alma get involved, and where are we today? And I'd like to say that we kind of started off, I wasn't at Alma at the time, but they started off, with a very simple diode laser for hair removal, for laser-based hair removal. And throughout the years, something that Alma is fantastic at doing is just constantly improving their technology, thinking how they can be better, more effective, more efficient, and user-friendly. And literally over the years, they have evolved, as you can see here, 2 hand pieces now in our titanium, which is really the Rolls Royce, our Rolls Royce of our Soprano. Better calling, better wavelengths, introduction of, touch screen, all these new advancements over the last 20 years have really resulted in the ultimate Soprano Titanium. But don't worry if you have the platinum, because it's just as good. But if you're looking to buy, I'd go for the titanium. So, but like I said, I'm not in sales. That's Adam's job. So let's just take a look. Let's take a look at, this is a great animation, and this really summarizes Alma's journey into their Soprano Titanium. Just give me a nod, Adam, can you hear the sound? Yeah, cool.
Professionals all over the world continuously seeking for the ultimate hair removal treatment. As part of this ongoing mission, Alma created a true technological meteor, Soprano's 3D SHR in-motion technology. Soprano's unique 3D technology emits 3 different wavelengths simultaneously, each with its own advantages. 1064 nanometer provides deep penetration, targeting deep hair follicles, and safe also for dark skin types. 810 nanometer, the optimal wavelength for safely removing coarse and fine hair in all skin types. And 755 nanometer, featuring high absorption by melanin pigments to successfully treat fine, lighter hair. The laser transforms into thermal energy, which in turn terminates hair growth by destroying surrounding stem cells. Soprano's unique applicators overcome the challenges of various skin types, and hair densities with unprecedented results. By emitting up to 150 laser beams in 3 wavelengths per second, Alma's patented SHR technology delivers low fluence and high frequency laser so that the tissue heating is gradual and therefore safer for the skin. The in-motion method distributes the laser energy uniformly over the treatment area for homogeneous coverage with superior results. This unique technology meets the trinity of hair removal requirements: speed, efficacy, and safety, and it does so without compromise. Alma Soprano, stronger, faster, smarter.
Great. Okay, so that really is a great summary of what Soprano can do. But I'm going to break that down now and go through that a little slower to explain to you exactly why Soprano can be all of that. So whether you're aware or not, Soprano has won many awards. If you Google laser hair removal, you know, Soprano comes up. Okay, so it works, it's popular, and it sells all over the world. So let's, as I promised you, a little bit of a biology lesson. Laser hair removal principles. So how does permanent hair removal work? So as we know, hair grows through hair follicles, and it grows though out of stem cells. Okay, so if we damage, or if we shave, or if we pluck, or if we wax, we're just pulling out this hair shaft. And then these new little cells here, these stem cells, they will make new hair, and the hair will regrow. So the idea is for hair removal, permanent hair removal, is to destroy these stem cells. So destroying the cells that will make new hair growth. And these are located in the base of the hair, midway down, and in various structures labeled here. Okay, the dermal papilla, the bulb, and the bulge. Okay, not names you need to remember, but they're all down the hair follicle. The principle of laser hair removal actually comes from about 30 years on now, from a theory that was described called selective photothermolysis. And in actual fact, all laser-based procedures are based on this theory. And it's a great theory because it says that if you shine a laser light on skin, it will be absorbed selectively either by melanin, hemoglobin, or water, depending on the wavelength. Okay, and that meant without damaging the surrounding tissue, and that just opened the field for many applications, for many indications. Okay, but with hair removal, not only do we want this hair to absorb the light, we want it to diffuse a little bit out, not too much out to cause damage, but we need to conduct that heat to destroy those cells that I showed you before. And that is the secret to laser hair removal. You need to get the pulse width, so the time the laser is on the skin, just right, so you will cause that damage without causing any further damage. And then you will destroy the stem cells, and the hair will be destroyed permanently. It's also important to know that hair grows in cycles. So it will grow. It will then detach from its base, and then it falls out. Different cycles, different times on different parts of the body. But we need to be aware, and this is again very important for you and your clients, we need to be aware that we can only be effective in anagen phase, in the growing phase. Meaning we'll have to wait a few cycles for other hairs to come up, to fall out, and then we treat again. Now, what does this mean? If we're only effective in one phase of the hair growth cycle, what does that mean for the patient? So let's take a look at this. And I'm going I'm going to use this example on the arms, okay? So we can see on the arms, there's about 20% of the hair at any given time in this anagen phase, meaning that even if you are 100% effective at killing those hairs, if the patient goes away, they'll still have 80% that were not treated, meaning they'll have to come back. And this is very good to explain to patients why it's not going to happen overnight. And it takes about 10 sessions to get kind of this 90% reduction in hair. Every time you will be treating 20% of what is left. Okay, so that's a way to explain the amount of time and why you need several treatments. Again, this slide also shows that different hair on different parts of the body will have different depths. They will have different densities, meaning that, again, we have to change our parameters accordingly, and that will become clearer down the line. Another important aspect of hair removal is what factors will affect your efficacy. Well, I just mentioned anagen cathogen telogen, so I mentioned whatever stage the hair is in. I've also mentioned depths and density will affect the efficacy. Hair type, color. We can't treat blonde hair. We cannot treat hairs that do not have melanin. It's very difficult. We cannot get absorption from the laser. Skin type, we have to be very careful when treating very, very dark skin patients. However, as you will see with Soprano, we can actually treat all skin types, which is fantastic. And again, gender, age, hormonal, can all affect whether the hair will grow back and whether maybe the hair will be harder to remove. Okay. So now let's go on to SHR. I mentioned SHR and people talk about SHR. What is SHR? It actually stands for super hair removal. I don't know, I wasn't around when that name originated. So I'm not really sure why it's super. Well, it is super, but I don't know why they called it that. But let's look how it's different to traditional hair removal. And you might get patients that come in and say, that's not like the other machine I used to use. Or, you know, why have I got to shave before? Or why are you using gel? It's a new technology. It's a different technology, okay? And it's a better technology. Why is it better? Because it's safer. It's safer and it has less side effects. So you can see here a typical example of, you know, horrible side effects from a stationary laser hair removal treatment. You can get patches because you're stamping. You can get overlap and then you can get burns, okay? In the worst case scenario, you know, I've seen it on the Daily Mail on the front page of Female, these horrible burns from hair removal. This is, it's always a risk when you use lots of energy with one pulse. And it's painful. You know, I have friends that have done this kind of, these kind of treatments, and it can be painful. And it can be difficult if you've got very thin hair. So this is not the case with SHR. So let's look a little bit about the concept. Instead of delivering all the energy in one big burst on the skin, we deliver a very low amount of energy. We call it fluence at a very high repetition rate. So lots and lots of little pulses per second and very, very high cooling. Okay. And then we work in an in motion technique. We are moving over a grid, over an area to accumulate a higher total energy. Now, if you kind of did the math, and I'm not going to do that now, but and you looked at per centimeter squared of a grid, you would actually end up with more energy than if you were using a conventional stationary method. And that's because we accumulate energy. And because it's a low energy, it's safe. You can do it on skin type 6 even. We sell these machines, you know, in parts of Africa, and it works. And it's not painful. It's not painful because we're using low energy. So how do we work? We divide our patients into grids, depending on where they want the treatment. And then we work like this little video demonstrates.
1 to 2 days post-treatment. Ensure the room temperature does not exceed 25 degrees Celsius and that the platform is kept at least half a meter from the wall. Treating with SHR in motion mode.
Okay, so that was just a clip from a very long video on how to use your Soprano. But I just wanted you guys to know, maybe some of you, you know, don't even realize that maybe they're not working in the optimal manner, but you need to work in slow, steady strokes. You need to cover your grid, and you need to be careful to maintain full contact with the patient, not to lose the energy, not to lose any laser light, and to keep moving. Do not hover over ankles, knees. You don't want to create any hot spots, and you don't want to create any areas that you're not going over. So it's easy, but you just need to be, correctly shown how to carry out an SHR treatment. Like I mentioned, it's got very, very, very cold cooling to -3. So it's some fancy technology here that creates these low temperatures. And even throughout a treatment, if a patient feels any kind of discomfort, you can just, release the foot switch and just give that patient some nice cooling through the gel. We use ultrasound gel. Many people ask why. There are 3 reasons. First of all, it helps glide over the patient. Second of all, it limits any laser scattering. So it's a coupling medium that will couple your laser light into the patient. And it also helps with the cooling. And I have seen clinics where they keep their gel in the fridge, which is great for the patient as well. Okay, next stage. Well, next part that's important to mention, we have 3 wavelengths in our applicator. It's a diode laser, and it contains a very, very clever blend of 3 wavelengths. And since we've done this, we've had some copycats in the market that have also gone on to do this. I'm not sure any company has exactly these wavelengths, but they were carefully chosen for each one because of their advantage. And we have 2 applicators. We have many applicators, but the 3 wavelengths come as a 2 centimeter squared and a 4 centimeter squared. Okay, so these are the 3 wavelengths. Let me just briefly explain why we chose them and the benefits of these wavelengths. So the 755, if you can see over here, has very, very high absorption in melanin, making it fantastic for light, thin hairs. 810 is a universal wavelength used for optimal melanin absorption and deep. And then we have 1064, which is a slightly lower absorption in melanin, making it safer for high skin types, but it penetrates very, very deep. Okay, so we have deep penetration and high absorption in melanin. So we've really managed to, to get the advantages of all the wavelengths. So just to show you here again, here you have the hair follicle, and you can see 755 will target the fine light hairs. 810 will target most follicles very efficiently, and 1064 really goes deep. It's just a rule in physics that laser, the longer the wavelengths, the deeper the penetration. And we've found that this helps to even cut off the blood supply for deeper hair follicles. The result, all in one applicator that can treat hair follicles at different depths, all skin types, including fine and light hairs. And as Adam said as well, Alma does pride itself on clinical publications, and we have just released a publication on the safety and efficacy of this triple wavelength. So here is the paper in JDD, and there are many publications on the safety of SHR technology for the last kind of 10-15 years. So this has been thoroughly clinically proven, and I think we've even got another publication in the pipeline. Okay, so what did we do for the titanium? So for the titanium, there were 3 major jumps or advancements technically, and I'm just going to go through them for anyone who has the titanium or thinking of it. The first was that we doubled the spot size. So we now call it Trio 4 centimeters squared, which basically means you're up to 50% faster for your treatments. So if you have lots of men, big backs, full body, this halves your treatment time, which is fantastic. Over here on the right, you can see a variation of all the different applicators we offer. Not necessary to buy all of them, but definitely this Trio. And then there's a 2 centimeters squared for smaller areas. So for the face, for the underarm, for the bikini line, this is great as well. So as I just said, because it's bigger, then it's shorter treatment time. You can work in bigger grids. So 600 is an A4 grid, so 900 is even bigger. And you know, people like these kind of comparisons. So I think a full man's back you can do in 4 minutes, and a whole body in less than half an hour, which I think is great. Yes, how fast? So chest and abs, like I said, anything, and this will vary depending on how much energy you can use, your patient's skin type, his density, but you know, 4 minutes, under 5 minutes easily, chest and abs and back as well. Okay, so this is a fast treatment. Change number 2 was really increasing the Android screen, making it more flexible, user-friendly, more intuitive, and it has a fantastic design. And this has made it a lot more user-friendly. And the third advancement, which I think is just fantastic, is the invention of the smart clinic, meaning that especially if you're a clinic owner, in charge of businesses, this is fantastic. This means that all data gets uploaded on a cloud. You can kind of see in this little picture here, you've got, you know, somebody who owns a few different Sopranos, and he can see everything. He can see the treatments. He can see the time.
Can I just jump in there for a second?
Sure, Adam.
We haven't launched a smart clinic in UK yet, simply because we're just for everyone who's listening, because I might get some curiosity messages. I'll have a mob on me, but I just want to explain basically because we're working with in the process of working with some UK CRM companies who work with us and hoping to grow smart clinic into their systems, because we found a lot of clinics had their own systems and want to double up on the data. So we just work on that. As soon as that's sorted, we will be on the case and launch it with everybody.
Fantastic. Yeah, I mean, you know, the UK is very advanced in that area, so I can understand that. Okay, so that just allows managing your treatments. And the last change is, like I mentioned in the beginning of the talk, is that you can connect 2 applicators at the same time. So there's less fuss, less time spent changing over handpieces. If you have your big handpiece for large areas and then you want to do the face or the underarm, you don't have to spend time changing over. I mean, you know, this is a nice upgrade for the titanium. Okay, so let's go through some clinical protocols, and I think then there'll be time for some questions. So I'm not going to go in detail to protocols, and this is all available in your quick reference guides. But I just want to say, maybe just to show you how you do go about choosing, what you guys need to choose, what you need to be aware of, because everything is given to you. So let's take a look at this video. This really walks you through everything you need to know when you switch on your machine. Okay, we don't need the music because I'm going to talk over. So first of all, if you do have the titanium, you will get this screen and you can choose your applicator. Then let me just pause this. Then you need to decide, are you working SHR? Are you working traditional HR? You may say, why would I want HR after what you've said? Well, you know, doctors still like to use it and we allow them that option. And then SHR stack, which I will explain later. And then you choose the size of your patient. Like I said, SHR mode. And according to the size and then the skin type and the treatment area, then you will be given your grids. You will be given your grid size and you will be given the correct parameters according to our QRG. So let's just pause it here. So here you can see fluent 7 was given, maybe high skin type. The energy, accumulated energy for that particular grid is 26 kilojoules and a grid of 600, which is it's an A4 sheet of paper. It's quite big and the time is set automatically. Now, if you decide I want to increase my energy, you can increase your energy and the time will increase. If you want to increase your fluence because your patient is fine with you going a little bit higher, then your time will decrease because you're delivering your energy faster. If you decrease your grid size and you want to work 300 centimeters squared, then the energy will change and your time will change. So everything is changed accordingly. Okay, so here I've gone up to 10 or I've gone down to 2, and you know, it will just take longer. As long as you accumulate this energy, then you're fine. Okay, so you can see how everything can change. Time is auto-calculated. And then you press ready, foot switch and button for safety, gel, and then you're ready to go. This is a stack mode. I'm not sure I'm going to go into detail here, but it's just a safe way of delivering one pulse or a few pulses on one spot. And it's great for upper lip, face, any area where it's too small to do your SHR. So we have the option to work on stationary mode as well. Okay, great. So that really explains it all. And just to kind of show you here that if I was working in SHR mode, I would go to my skin type, I would look at my hair density, I would choose my fluence, choose my grid, and then work accordingly. Ultrasound gel, advise the patient to shave a few days before, no waxing, no plucking, and then you wait, this is important here, 6 to 8 weeks. Wait, okay, because the hair needs to come out and another cycle needs to come through. If you remember those anagen hairs, they're the ones we want to catch next time. And this, you know, again, this is maybe more for the advanced user, but these energies can be cleverly played with. Okay, so small areas, I think I mentioned that. Now so the same is given for the 2 centimeters squared from the platinum. As you can see, the grids here are smaller, although you can use bigger grids, it will just take longer. And the energy is given in a range, okay? And again, you play with that according to the hair type and what treatment you're in. By the way, it's kind of like counterintuitive, but if the patient comes with lots and lots of thick hair, you actually use less energy because there's lots of melanin now. And if the patient is very sparse and very light, you actually need more energy because you're really hoping for it to be absorbed. So when to use what, I get often asked by clients. If you've got big grids, then go for SHR. It gives you the most energy. 50 to 300 centimeters squared, you can use either your 2 centimeter or 4 centimeter SHR or stationary stack. And if you have really small areas like upper lip, then I would use stack or HR. I mean, you can't do SHR on an upper lip, so you have to do a couple of passes over the lip. Very carefully, settings are given to you. Okay, so let's look at some clinical results. And I'm just going to point out kind of maybe some cases that are important to show. This is a large area done with this was done with our 4 centimeters squared, I think, yes. And that's just 6 treatments, 6 weeks after, massive improvement. Again, very dense hair, very dark hair, and you can see already on the way just after 5 treatments. Same with legs, same with arms, 4 treatments, fantastic reduction. And I think what I would here point out to you, this is done with trio, so it's a smaller handpiece. Maybe it's more comfortable for the patient to do smaller areas. And then we have this villus hair. This villus hair is very, very light hair. It's always very difficult to remove with laser. And although you can't see it so well on the screen, we did manage to target these fine hairs because of this slow increasing of energy. And as I said to you, skin type 5, 6 can also be treated, no problem. And here again, dark hair on dark skin was still a successful outcome. Facial hair treated here in trio stack mode, meaning we do a stationary, safe delivery of energy. We don't deliver all the energy in one pulse. We kind of break it down into 3 or 4 pulses and very effective here after a few treatments. Okay, so I'm just going to finish here with some lockdown tips, as Adam promised you, and a little bit about what we have to offer you over maybe other companies, and like I said, the improvements that we've and the changes that we've undergone the last couple of years. Okay, so I think I've gone through this in terms of all the benefits of Soprano. Okay, so clinical support. Anyone who has a device, Adam, correct me if I'm wrong, has access to the partner zone.
Yes, that's correct.
Is that correct? Yeah. And in the partner zone, you know, you can find everything. You can find the QRGs, the service manuals, how to clean your device, marketing material, banners, posters for your clinic. It's all on the partner zone. If there's a problem, let us know. But in addition to the partner zone, we've also initiated some online training courses. You know, again, ask whoever your distributor is, ask Adam, ask me, you know, how to access these courses. And this is kind of a step-by-step talking you through basically everything that I've given today. But they're very nice if you have some new trainers in your clinic and you want to get them up to speed. Another thing, a new thing that we've done in the clinic is we're now publishing a quarterly newsletter, and this is a great kind of medical bulletin, really showing or advertising all necessary and all new developments from the clinic. Again, if you don't receive this, please let us know. We'll put you on the mailing list. And here there's often articles written about a specific technology, for example, Spotlight on Clear Skin. We share videos, we share our publications. We sometimes offer you clinical tips, clinical protocols. So if you really want to be up to speed clinically in our clinical community, this is worth subscribing to. And finally, we have tutorials, online tutorials, how to set up your machines and how to get started. Okay, so guidelines for lockdown. So first of all, you have to reassure patients that even though they think that all that hard work and all that hard-earned money has gone down the drain, it hasn't. Okay, permanently removed hair will not grow back. Okay, it's gone. It seems like it's growing back because they haven't come from another treatment, but it's just the other hairs in different phases of growth. They need to continue to shave as normal if it bothers them, although in lockdown it's probably not necessary. And no waxing, no plucking, and maybe even doing some exfoliation on certain areas will always help to rejuvenate the skin. Next week I'll be talking about skin rejuvenation. And to kind of reassure them, we've seen this several times, that long intervals can actually be super beneficial. The longer a patient waits, a couple of months, you'll be surprised how all these kind of deep, fine hairs come through, and we can tackle them a lot better next session. So it's not all doom and gloom for clinics. So I think that's it on Soprano and hair removal. But next week is quite exciting for me. It's to talk about Harmony, so the Harmony XL Pro platform. Maybe it's kind of advanced. I think I'm going to give more an advanced presentation or webinar here on really how to combine some of your laser handpieces. I'm going to talk about treating the facial skin problems under the mask. You know, I hear this a lot. We see this a lot now. Skin is really kind of suffering under the mask, and how we can help with that. And that's it from me. So thank you for listening. I'm going to somehow try and open, see if you guys have got any questions. If anything has been written down.
I'll just say, guys, if there's any details on the people asking for login or access to training, please send me a detail. I've just put in the chat all my direct contact details. Obviously, we're, as you know, we're all in lockdown, so there may not be anyone in the office, but please either email me, Instagram me, or my number. I'll put all my details in the chat for any login requests or any training access, etc.
Oh, wow, I didn't see the chat. Now I can see it.
A lot of it's about logins and things.
Okay, so is there anything there, Adam, that you pointed out that I need to address?
Not really. There was something about software people, because some people with the titanium, because obviously there's new software, so they'll hear from us on when we service, we will deal with the software issues. That's not a problem. There's one question I saw there, Sharon, if you can answer that for us. I think it was regards to vellus hair.
Okay, so let me go through this. How many sessions do you do on vellus hair? Okay. How far away will you go with a tattoo? Okay, so for a tattoo, I would completely cover it with a white piece of material, gauze or something, make sure it's completely covered with white tape. And then I would just work around the tattoo, that's fine. How many sessions do we do on vellus hair? That particular patient, let's have a look at that patient. That was done by our in-house clinician, but what I do want to show you actually about vellus hair. Okay, that was 5 treatments. But what you should know with vellus hair, don't be scared to go up a couple of kilojoules with your accumulated energy. You actually do, because they're so fine, you need to be a little bit stronger. You need to increase your fluence and your accumulated energy as high as you can go, basically, you know, depending on the patient's skin type. If you're too low, then it won't work. We have seen that patients sometimes say that they feel that it's triggered their hair growth again. Like I say, just go that little bit further. Try and accumulate another 2 to 4 kilojoules of energy in your grid, and you should be able to target them. Okay, what is the difference between stack and HR mode for upper lip? That's a good question. So you can use both. You can deliver your energy, fluent 7, fluent 6. The difference between HR and stack mode is HR, you are giving one burst of energy. So you would be doing boom, boom, boom. And stack mode, you would just be breaking down. So I would always go for stack mode. You deliver the same amount of energy, just in a safer way. So you would kind of hear like boom, 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 and then you move across, boom, boom, boom. You hear it when you're doing the stamping method. So I would always go for SHR. Sorry, for stack HR, stack. Let's see what else we can do.
Someone's asking the difference between stack and HR.
I mean, that's the difference. You're delivering the same amount of energy in a stationary fashion, but with stack, you're breaking it down into safer pulses. And you can actually see the energy going up as you're stacking. I would always start with the stack. You know, I use it on knees, on upper lip, on a side of the face. And you can kind of do 2 passes without causing burns if you're careful. So I would go for stack.
Address the one where you said a dealer, she's asking for SHR and HR. I know you've covered that, so I've asked her to contact me direct. I think she got cut off for some reason, but rather than you do that, I can cover that separately.
Okay, that's great. Let's have a look if there's anything else.
Someone's asking, what is paradoxical hair growth?
That's an interesting one. That basically, I mean, a lot of people kind of throw that term around, and it's not always completely accurate. It kind of means that you're treating the skin in one area, and because of maybe scattering, it's kind of the laser light within the skin, you would trigger other follicles to grow. It's actually quite rare, and I think maybe people do kind of use that term when it's not actually paradoxical hair growth, but if it is, then it is something that needs to be addressed. And there are various kinds of tips to do that, maybe going with a single wavelength, maybe going at higher energies. It is something that can occur. It's not very common. And like I said, it's a phenomenon that is, you know, that happens sometimes because of the scattering of laser within the skin and triggering new follicles to all of a sudden start growing in other areas. But it's normally quite rare. I'm just trying to look again. Anything else?
Who wants to ask, do you overlap with stacking?
Yes. Okay. So let's talk a little bit about overlap. So SHR, obviously you're overlapping the whole time. Be careful that when you have grids side by side, I had this from a client recently, she complained of kind of this little narrow hair growth kind of in between her grids. So don't be kind of completely, you know, paranoid about going to the edges of your lines. Definitely overlap with grids in SHR, just a little bit, okay? You don't want to get areas between grids that have hair growth. If you're overlapping with stacking, I would suggest 2 to 3 passes. And again, this is in the QRG. We tend to deliver it to do 1 pass, wait, let the skin cool, and do a 2nd pass. Some people kind of, again, for advanced users, you can even actually kind of, you can do something that's called SHR stack. SHR stack, which means you're stacking, but you're moving in motion. I don't know if anyone has played with that, but it's also, it's for very small areas when you can't do a proper SHR. So you're kind of stacking small pulses, but you're actually moving. So don't worry about a little bit of overlap with stacking. Okay, somebody wants slide 11 for a photo, and I think that's a good slide actually to take a picture of. Slide 11 is the difference. Hold on.
There's always one, Sharon. That one's Paz. She's known for it.
Oh, really? I was like that at school, though. I would have asked that. Is that slide 11?
That's 12.
So she wants this one, yeah?
That's the one, I believe.
Okay, oh, now I've lost my chat box. Oh, there it is. Okay, oh, that's good. We do that for beards and faces. Yeah, great. Fantastic. I hope it's been helpful for people.
Oh, that's 12, okay. Perfect.
Stack mode, by the way, all these InMotion, Stack, HR, they're all available on the ICE Platinum as well.
I think that's all the questions covered, Sharon. Thank you.
Okay, great. So it's been a pleasure.
I'll have access to the recorded anyway. So if anyone, I'm guessing, Sharon, recording, aren't we?
Yes, yes, we are.
If anyone wants access to this separately or for your colleagues or anyone, please contact me. As mentioned, you've got all my details there in the chat, and then I can send them to you direct.
Great. Okay, guys. So good luck.
Thank you very much. Appreciate today, and we'll see you next week, guys. Don't forget Harmony XL Pro next week. Lots of things on anti-aging, different hand pieces. It's going to be very exciting. Hey, Malcolm. Malcolm's our champion over there. Hey. So yeah, it'll be really good next week, guys. Harmony, exciting stuff. Lots of hand pieces to cover, anti-aging. We all like a bit of that. So we look forward to seeing you there. Please spread the word. And get us a big audience for Sharon to talk to. She likes large audiences, so we can cover everything.
No pressure.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks very much for Sharon.
Take care.
Help. Take care now. Have a good day. Thank you. Bye-bye.